So, Jem, how are you feeling about the project at this stage?
Well, I'm very excited about the project because I'm going to Australia. That's going to be brilliant. I'm going to be spending 2 weeks in Australia. A lot of it is going to be hard work, though, I think. Trying to negotiate all the different people in the swarm is going to be pretty difficult, but I'm looking forward to it. Quite a lot of kind of anticipation about the project. So it's one of those projects you're not quite sure how it's going to go. If no one does anything, then it won't be a flop, but it'll definitely there's a huge risk involved, and I really a little bit a bit tense about that, but I'm sure that something will come through. The internet has democratized the traditional methods of organizing projects. So I'm doing a PhD that is looking at new structures of filmmaking. Filmmaking, traditionally, has been a single director who calls all the shots from the film crew. What I want to do with this project is to turn this concept on its head and get a swarm of directors to decide what one person does. That person is going to be me, and I'm going to be flying out to Australia to a symposium about electronic arts. But I'm recruiting a swarm of directors via Facebook and Twitter to decide what I shoot, where I do it, and how it's going to be done. Isea Swarm is the persona on Facebook and Twitter that people can be friends with and hear the latest news about what is happening with this project. Isea stands for the International Symposium of Electronic Arts. So, if people want to get more involved than just watching the project, they can go to www.swarmtv.org, where there is a link to a whole bunch of tutorials on how to use the site. It's not difficult and it doesn't take long, it's just a little unconventional. A film director asked me recently, but what if you have 5 different requests for your next shot? Which one are you going to do? Well, this is where I think the internet will democratize this. I'm deliberately choosing something like a symposium where each individual in the swarm will probably personally choose a different subject matter to shoot. But I want to see what factors bring these opinions to consensus, or at least a rough consensus. One maxim which I think will be very useful for everyone involved is to think globally and then act locally. That is going to be particularly appropriate for me with a camera in Australia, but it also works for anyone in the swarm who might decide, for example, that I need a particular script, or we need shots from the USA or China as well. Another factor I'm looking at is what is the effect of the speed of internet connection. In Cornwall, we are very connected. It's quite easy for people to get super fast broadband, but does this affect the way that people interact and make decisions? That's something else I'll be looking at in this project.
My name is Peter Anders. I'm the chair of Isea, incoming chair this year, and I've been a board member of Isea for about 13 years.
What is Isea?
Isea stands for International Society for Electronic Arts, and it's an ongoing festival. Happens every year now in different parts of the world, and the events entail projects that bring science and art together. Art, technology, science is pretty much the focus. And we have usually about 1,000 people show up to these events. You might consider them part festival, part academic conferences. And the organization that runs these conferences, that basically decides where it's going to happen the following year and in what venue, is the International Society for, basically Isea International is the name of it.
Okay.
So.
And what does it comprise of? What do these people get out of coming to this symposium?
Well, there is a growing field of arts and technology in which the two are thought of in the same sense. You see that quite readily in electronic arts, where you have people developing websites or applications for iPhones and the like, and they involve design, they involve thinking in terms of maybe artistic concepts, but also in digital and electronic technologies. Isea also goes beyond that. We also have artists who are involved in systems of biology. We have bioart, we have nanotechnology art, we have eco-art. So there anything that you can think of that involves any field of science outside of the humanities and conjoin that with art, we've got that going on.
So it's
a real hybrid.
It's not electronic art then?
It's not just electronic art. Originally, when we were founded back in 1988, it was the Inter-Society for Electronic Art. We still maintain the E as being electronic, but actually we think of it as emergent. New art forms coming out of this merger between technology and art.
That's fantastic. So, where do you see Isea going in the future?
Okay, in the future, right now, let's just take off from where we are now. We're in Sydney. Next year, the event will be held in Dubai, and the year after that, it's happening in Vancouver. And in that interim, no one knows about Isea. And we're trying to find a way of filling that gap so we actually have a presence throughout the year, not just for the festival or the symposia, as we call them, but actually in services and other kinds of micro Isea events or Isea sponsored events. They could be lecture series, they could be film series, they could be exhibitions and the like. So that's where the future for us actually lies, is how to fill that space between so we can get closer to the needs of our constituency and basically find a way to thrive.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
It's a real pleasure.